Welcome back. Today we're going to start right off with a demonstration so that you guys can get right into your work for the day. We're going to be talking about personification. Now that's a big fancy word, but all it really means is that you're taking something non-human and making it have the characteristics of something human. So for example, if I were to take objects like a toaster or a vacuum cleaner and I gave them a personality, a face, made them stand out and seem more like humans than like objects. So our job today is going to be to create our very own personified objects. To start off, we first of all have to come up with an object that we would like to personify. I want to think about an object that would be helpful to have with human characteristics. For example, that toaster, maybe it would be nice to have a toaster that's alive that we can talk to and say, "Hey buddy, go pop in some of my toaster strudels for me. Give me a Pop-Tart warmed up and ready for breakfast because I don't really have the energy to do it myself." Or we have a personified vacuum cleaner that we can say, "Hey, house needs clean, dude. Really appreciate it if you take care of that." For me, I wanted to do some personification with some of my plants. As you all know, I am a big plant fan. I love to garden. I love to have my plants. And to be able to communicate with them so they could tell me what they need, I thought that would be pretty cool. So first I've got to start off by actually drawing out my object. So here I've got a soft drawing of my object, my potted plant, and it's really important that you do your best and you take your time. It is very helpful to have the object in front of you as always. Doing that still life type drawing that we've been practicing so much is really important in helping you to create something that looks like what you're hoping it will look like. Now, once I've gotten this far, I have to think about what kind of a personality it would have. I mean, this plant is very flowy and fun. It has lots of leaves, so I feel like it's got an exciting personality. So I wouldn't want it to look tired and sleepy and bored. I want to make sure that its character has a little bit more of an exciting, maybe cartoonish face, or maybe it looks more human. So we could do cartoony eyes and funny noses and mouths and make funny faces on our characters, or we could make it something that looks a lot more like an actual person. That's up to you. For me, I think I'm gonna go with giving it some bright, happy eyes that are pretty big, but still kind of like a person's. Now that I have eyes in place and I like the way that they look, I can think about the nose, mouth, and other facial features that this pop might have to personify it a little bit more. When I'm creating, I can also think about gender. So is my object going to be a girl or a boy? Or maybe I don't want to be able to tell. Maybe it's not a girl or a boy and it's just a character. And that's okay too. But for me, I kind of want it to look more feminine or more girly. And this pot kind of has a girly shape to it to me. It feels very feminine. So I want to just keep rolling with it. So I gave her kind of a bubbly nose, and I'm going to keep adding on to it as I go, but now I can think about filling in the rest. Do I want my character to have ears or a facial expression? So is she going to be smiling? Is she frowning? Is he or she excited or scared? You have to decide what your object is going to look like. So I decided that I wanted to have some of the plant start to look more like hair because it is on top of the character's head. So I decided I was going to start bringing some down and create my own. Now the reason that we're doing this project, because it might seem a little bit off because, I mean, we've been working on like aliens and space related things, but we're actually starting to build on the idea of what happens in films and in books. We've already looked at aliens and all the crazy designs that come out of animation and storyboarding. And if we look at lots of animation, animation uses personification a lot. Take Beauty and the Beast, for example. If we're looking at Beauty and the Beast, almost all of the characters in that story are personified objects. Mrs. Potts is a living teapot. I mean, she's got a chin and they turned the spout of the teapot into her nose. They really brought her to life as a character, and you believe that she's a character and a person instead of an object because they did bring her to life in that way. Then we have Lumiere, the candlestick, and Cogsworth, the clock. We've got characters like the little engine that could, and Thomas the train. A lot of our movies and TV shows and books use personification to give new and exciting characters a place in our stories. Can you imagine Beauty and the Beast if all of the characters were just objects that just sat there with no face and they didn't talk? That would be a really boring story. When you are all finished, you can go through and darken some areas that maybe were light. Working light first is always really nice because then if you make mistakes, it's no big deal. Once I've gone through and I like the way my personified object looks and I darken everything in, I can clean up those scratchy lines and make them smooth again. We can color this in with color, or we can just leave it the way it is. So there you have it. That's all for today. Until next time, remember that you are so smart, so important, and so loved. I can't tell you enough how proud I am of you guys. I've been seeing the work that has been turned in so far, and my friends that have had the time to turn things in so I can see them. I thank you so much. The work you've been sending me is amazing. It really, really is. And to be able to do those things without me there to help you makes me so proud. So keep up the good work, and I'll see you next time.